Let's jam.
Let's jam. Ladies and gentlemen, welcome to another exciting episode of Telia Misfits. Episode 18, actually. Now that God, guys, 18 episodes. We've been
Good
through.
number for our party today.
Okay. Anyway, I am here joined with my good friends. Let's go from middle this time. Raining Blades.
At this rate, we'll level up to a third time by episode 27.
Okay, Stavian. All right, Ocean X.
Hello.
Spyro Proxy. Fucking hate you.
It's what my dog did all day. I'm sorry.
And Sarcastrophe.
Hey everyone!
All right. And with the wonderful Sarcastrophe bringing up the rear, he's going to be doing the recap of last episode.
Oh yeah, babies! Let's go!
Let's go indeed.
So, from last when we went off. Oh shit, the doorbell went off. I was like chilling off in the courtroom and shit, and the guys came back because they were following some assassin guy who totally deuced the Duke. And I will be back in like 2 seconds because the doorbell was for me. But Justice Locke came over, and Demir knows a lot about the Quarter Mall.
All right, cool. Cool. Someone else do the intro then. Who offers this review?
Yes, well, quite. So, Callahan, so what happened was that after returning to the scene of the crime, we basically awaited for various investigators to come and investigate the crime, including multiple people. I know that everyone's dear hated friend, Arthur Dane, contacted the sheriff of the town, but beforehand, two other individuals were contacted to come to the location. So, for starters, the justice of the Court of Law, or one of them, Justice Locke, was brought in to do his business as one of a former High Inquisitor in order to investigate the scene, as well as one of our old, I don't really want to say friends, but Yosofer, who we at least acquainted with, brought about an investigator of his own to investigate the scene. A lot of talking about and questions were asked. We discovered that everyone believes that Arthur Dane is a massive prick, which should really come as no surprise. And there was actually quite a bit of a heated scene as he casted magic on various individuals, and then he was at least able to eventually be persuaded to stop. And then once the investigators arrived, they began questioning us. We all did our best to be as helpful as possible while concealing the truth that the assassin appears to have been Kyoho's brother. At which point, I think some of us might have done a better job at hiding that fact than others, because at the end of the day, Kyoho herself, as well as our own cleric of Maul, Callahan, were brought away by the Court of Maul for a little bit of a further questioning. Meanwhile, Emrys was tasked with going to accompanying Arthur as part of one of their prior arrangements, so that she possibly wouldn't be involved in, such issues. And as for Terry and myself, we decided that we were best spent from our fight with the assassin, and we're in no position to help any of our comrades should they need it, and should very well might just get a good night's rest and hopefully get to meet back up with everyone in the morning.
Wonderfully done, Demir. It's almost like you have a high intelligence that gives you a great memory. Almost. So, we're going to do something a wee bit different. In that since the party is now split, each of
Not
you
our
is.
fault.
Yeah, I know. But since partially your fault. But anyway, since the party is now split, all of you are going to roll d20. The highest roll will be the first group we're gonna cover tonight.
Well, not me.
Well, apparently not.
Can I get
Oh
my
no,
crit
you
fails
could
in the
use
middle
your
later?
hero point.
Ah, yes. Use the hero point, guys. Use them
I'm
now.
not gonna use my hero point on it. Roll for order.
Woo! Look at me.
Hey, we're getting these
What
bad rolls out of the way.
Hell!
What do you mean? That's a dope roll for me, guys.
Man, no one wanted to go first. We just all rolled badly.
Wait, so
We're such
if
like a
Callahan and
socially
Kyoho are
awkward
integrated
party.
together, then
Yeah,
how does that
no.
work?
So first we're gonna do Callahan and Kyoho. Then we're going to do Terry
And the mirror.
and Demir. And then we'll do Amaris.
Oh god.
Sound good?
You're the
Yeah.
boss.
Of course it does sound good. Alright, let's
Sounds amazing.
let's
I'm
get
not going
this
first.
started.
Who goes first anyway.
Mhm.
Let me roll a wisdom save to see if I think it's a good idea.
You don't. Anyway, let us get started. So, Yoho, Callahan, are you ready for your part in this in tonight's?
Dope. Let's go.
All
Give me a
right,
moment.
all right.
All right, I've opened up the information that I need to make a new character if I die. I'm ready.
It's funny that you think you're gonna die so quickly. Anyway, Kyoho and Callahan, both of you are taken in a carriage with two shields of Mal towards the courthouse in the southernmost edge of the city. The two shields remain silent as you ride with them, and it only takes a couple of minutes for the carriage to stop. You know that the court isn't very far from the palace. The doors open, and you see a man in chainmail armor signaling for you two to get out. When you do, you both see the court of Mal in Westreach. This building is about 3 stories tall, with large stained glass windows in the front. There is a set of stairs leading to the entrance, which is flanked by 2 other men wearing the same armor as the one that opened the door. Both of you can see the symbols of Mal on them. Callahan, you know clearly that these would be swords of Mal. Stop spamming TPK. Might not happen.
Right?
Hey, I'm never gonna say something, you know. I'm not gonna lie, so. Anyway, you both are led inside by the swords and the shields of Mal, witnessing first a large foyer with a huge set of stairs leading to the upper floors. This floor has several that you're in has several doors, and you see several people in robes. Callahan, you recognize the white and gold robes of inquisitors and the white robes of acolytes. Now, before you go any further, one of the shields points to Kyoho's sword. You hear him clear his throat, and he speaks to you. No weapons in Mal's courthouse. Your sword will be returned after the interrogation.
Understood. She will hand it over.
He gives you a nod as a thank you, and he takes the sword and he turns around and gives it to one of the swords of Mal, who takes it to another room. You two are led up the stairs and then into each two separate individual rooms. Now, since Callahan rolled the highest, We're going to start with Callahan's interrogation. By the way, if you hear cars outside, it's because the window, uh, it's still hot inside my house. I have to keep the window open. Sorry about that.
Also, while we're on the side, you haven't switched over the point redeems for the D&D sessions yet.
Oh, yeah. That's what you guys care the most is for the point redeems. Right?
Someone else brought it up in chat. Cough, Terry. Cough.
Oh, thank you, Terry.
I gotta give Kyoho a cyanide pill in the form of the kill PC option.
I was more concerned about those, extra hero points, but
Yeah,
that's also a nice option to have.
That's the more important part of all. Yeah.
I saw something about random lore. Is that something that we have for this one, or is that for someone else?
It's for any of my world lores.
Ooh.
I have 3 campaign settings. I can give you lore from any of them.
Spicy.
Yeah. All right. So back to business. Callahan.
Yo.
You sit alone in a room with only one chair. No other furniture, no windows. You are instructed to wait here by one of the shields. After what felt like an eternity, but was actually more about 20 minutes, the door opens and a man walks in. You can tell from the armor that this is one of the shields from before. But he doesn't have his helmet on. Unlike this whole night. You see that he is a human in his late 30s, with a shaved head and a well-trimmed black beard. However, the most striking feature is that the left side of his face has words carved into it. Do you know Celestial?
Oh fuck no.
Okay.
I barely speak common.
Okay. But roll me an intelligence. Spyro, do not bring those names into this campaign. A 4. All right. You have no idea what those words say, but the dude carved them into his own face. Or someone carved it into his face. Now, next to him are 2 young inquisitors who set up 2 foldable stands. One clearly begins to draw your face, while the other is ready to take notes. The shield walks in, and he clears his throat again. This is the same one that asked for the sword. Thank you for waiting, brother. I am Shield Faust. He stands in front of you and offers his hands for a handshake.
I shake his hand, yeah. Yeah.
He gives you this firm handshake and nods. He's staring directly into your eyes the whole time. As he continues. I understand that you witnessed the murder firsthand.
It it happened right in front of me. Sorry. Yeah, well, it happened right in front of me. The Duke got shot pretty fucking lethally. Poison mishap. I was hoping that my own powers would be able to help stave off the whole death thing, but I acted too rashly and wasn't able to save him.
You did what you could. Now, we also know that you used magic to communicate with the deceased. We appreciate the quick thinking, however, such magic cannot be used again for several days. Thus, your questions will be the only clues that we will have to work with for the time being.
that's not necessarily true. I was at that party and I did hear some. I heard some confessions, shall we say?
He raises his hand as he also raises an eyebrow, and then you see him cast a spell, which you recognize as a spell he cast. Well, one of them cast in at the party.
Zone of truth.
Zone of Truth. Please do a Wisdom saving throw. Okay. You actually fail the Wisdom saving throw. Callahan cannot lie from this moment onwards.
Oh no.
Very well. First,
Y'all are fucked.
you will tell us word for word, as best as you can recall, what your questions were and the answers that were given.
Yeah?
Yeah.
Sorry, you're gonna have to dumb this shit down for me.
Tell us.
It's not you, it's me. It's me. It's been a long night. I saw the Duke die and shit, and
Understandable.
friends. You know, my friend Emrys. Oh man, I really feel like I can pour my heart out to you, bro. I don't know what you cast on me, but fuck man.
What?
That freak ass person with the eye patch, you don't know what he's gonna be doing to him.
First, tell us the questions that you asked.
Well, I can say for definite, he doesn't have any hidden treasure.
You asked about hidden treasure.
I was very shocked. And I had just been aggravated by a dude threatening to hurt you know that big guy, you know, the heavy set dude with the glasses that I was with?
The Oni.
Yeah. Demir, he's actually a great dude. Really, he's just a stand-up guy. And I'll be honest with you, the robes he wears, they're so flowy. Man, I'm so jealous of him. Just imagine when the wind hits him, it's just.
He snaps his fingers right in front of your face. Focus.
Whoa, okay.
I want the questions. All 5 of them.
The one session I didn't have my notebook. Can I call a friend? Does anyone remember? I asked him twice about the fucking things.
Yeah, you asked
Margaret.
one of the questions you asked twice.
Yeah, and then
You
there
asked.
was who his enemies were.
Okay, you asked who his enemies were. Yes.
Fuck, that would have been great to fucking take down last session. I have so many pages of notes from last session, and none of them are helpful now.
Yep. And what was his answer?
Well, if I'm being honest with you, the top boy was. Do you know Arthur Dane? He's some wizard of I don't know.
I know who Arthur Dane is. Who else?
Your one, Diawana, and that sound lad. You know him, big dude, really nice, very respectful towards anyone who wasn't a lady of the night. You know what I mean? Dan the man. That was it. Dan the man who could down the can. That's it. Yes.
Baron
Him.
Daniel?
Yeah, the Duke didn't like him. Although the Duke didn't like him because, according to Dan, he made his money very legally there go. He was all like, "Oh, there he is. That's that gross guy." I bet he called him gross too. His name is Gross. It's all coming back to me now, and it's
Yes.
all like, "Oh boy, he's such a he's such a fake noble." But I think honestly, if you do things in a legal manner, you are more noble than anyone. Church.
Yes, indeed. Who else?
That was
Anyone
it.
else?
No, he only gave me like a top three.
You've given me 2.
The princess girl. He seemed kind of iffy, about the whole race thing. You know, maybe the whole elf.
You see him turn towards one of the inquisitors, the one that's taking notes, and the inquisitor pushes up his glasses and goes, I believe he might be speaking about Princess Ukvina. And he nods. And then you see the inquisitor furiously taking more notes.
But truth be told, she seemed pretty chill. Because I have been conducting my own theories. I know I don't seem like a man of many thoughts, and many of my friends joke that I am a man of any thoughts. However, I have had a few thoughts.
Mm-hmm. And one of those thoughts was to ask where the Duke's treasury was. Am I correct in thinking that?
Well, considering I told you to your face that was something that I did.
Why would you
Uh,
ask such a thing? Were you interested in stealing or appropriating his treasure somehow?
well, truth be told, I didn't really like the Duke.
Will you answer my question?
I don't know, man. I was kind of on the fence about the whole thing. I've never been invited to such a fancy shindig in my life.
Have you stolen anything before?
Oh, absolutely, yeah. Haven't you?
No.
Really?
Yes.
Not even when you were younger? Now, admit,
Yes.
I haven't taken anything since I joined the whole Church of Mall. You know what I mean?
You actually, when you say that, he actually gives you a nod. I see. You changed your ways. Good.
I didn't just change my ways, man. I changed my entire self around. I don't know. Like, I'll be honest with you. I didn't even introduce myself to you, so I don't even know what your name is. So that might be a fresh point to start at. We are serving the same big man. You know what I mean?
Indeed.
Same boss. So my name's Callahan Dirge, and I awkwardly just like lean over the table just to give him a handshake.
He gives you another handshake again.
But does he introduce himself?
He already introduced himself at the start.
Did he? What's his name?
Shield
Oh,
Faust.
Oh, okay. Sorry. I definitely missed that.
Oh, no worries.
Would you mind spelling Faust for me if that's okay?
Faust.
Oh no. I studied English for 5 years. I know who this Faust guy is.
Yeah, it's that post.
Anyway,
Oh shit, can I insight check him or something to see if he's like sus?
sure.
What does my passive perception say?
No, that's not passive perception. That is insight. Roll an insight to get a general vibe on this guy.
Woo-hoo!
All right. He seems to be a very focused individual on the task at hand. He wishes to know. He clearly wishes to get to the bottom of this. But you also notice that he does have a gentler hand on you, Probably because of your affiliation with the church.
Does he look like he sold his soul to a devil recently?
I don't think that's something you can decipher from your current insight ability.
Damn it!
Anyway, um, he looks at the Inquisitor taking notes again, and the Inquisitor nods, and he returns his look to you and goes, very well. Next up, we have questions about the Oni woman who came here with you. We understand that she is a companion, a companion of yours, as you both attended a ball together.
Yeah, we're tight. She's like totally my bro. Like,
That is good. Then, we understand that she also went after the assassin but failed. We do have some questions for her. And when we asked her something at the party, at the ball, she seemed to be hiding something. Yet she resisted our zone of truth before.
yeah. So, fair warning: you're not going to get far with her if you're going to come up off as like abrasive or rude or condescending. You know what I mean? Like, I know how it is with me and you. You know, you're a shield. I'm, well, me.
Just stares at you. Just
Yeah, I mean, look, man. Let's not sugarcoat this thing. Like, I'm not a donut here, bro. You're gonna have to just talk to her in kind of like a normal sort of manner, if you know what I mean. You got to kind of be chill, kind of be respectful, laid back. You know what I mean? Like she's
Shield Donnelly is the one handling her interrogation.
how would you describe him in 3 words?
Pious,
No.
focused,
Shit.
pious, focused, strong.
Ooh, challenge her to a fist fight.
Please no.
Yo, I bet
I'm
you.
setting you up, Kyoho, don't worry.
What?
I have 6 hit points left, okay?
What?
Oh shit! Yeah. Whoops.
What can you tell me about her? And
Well, her name is Kyoho Kyungadako which is, I don't know, closest thing I can get to roll up my tongue. She's cool, you know. I think she's product for her hair, which I respect, you know, myself. Team Shadow Ninja. Yo, I don't believe it's part of Team Shadow Ninja actually. So there you are.
yeah, there we go.
She is an Oni. She speaks Oni. We have spoken in Oni once or twice before. Arthur Dane drugged her once, so that wasn't good. So she drinks water now, which is good. It's great for the complexion and skin.
You see him snap his fingers and at the Inquisitor, who continues to write. Then he continue.
Was that snap? Did that make the guy stop or not write the whole Arthur Dane bit?
Well, I was gonna tell you to roll, but with a passive perception, he continued to write. He did not stop.
Ooh, he wrote it all.
Yes.
Ooh,
Or at least he wrote something. At least he wrote something. You can't really tell what he was writing, but at least he wrote something.
That's okay. That's okay.
You mean Callahan's perception is not good enough that he can
Demir,
tell
you're not here.
what the guy's writing
You're
by
not
his
here.
pen strokes?
You're not actually here, so kindly shut the fuck up.
So you're telling me that Callahan's passive perception isn't good enough that he can't read passive pen strokes? Is that what you're saying?
No. Anyway, he then asks, "Do you have any information about her that might pertain and might be pertinent to this investigation.
Yes.
Tell
She's
us.
super quiet. You're probably not going to get far with her. I know someone who could help with a little bit of a zone of truth, if you know what I mean. And your zone is good, by the way, man. I'm under its effects right now, and I can tell you right now, A1 standard. What's the DC on this shit?
Roll me a persuasion.
Fuck, I don't think I'm good at that. I don't know on that. Ooh,
Alright.
can I use...
Do you want
Can
to
I use my
use...
hero
You
point?
can use
Yeah.
your hero point, yes.
Oh, fuck.
That's your hero point. Anyway, you see him narrow his eyes and he asks, "Do you have any other information?"
Yes, I've been really laying it on thick that I have other information that is so much more important. Bro, I was at that party. I've been talking. I know these people. I have found out some of the most serious and most scandalous information.
He puts his hand on your shoulder about the Oni woman.
Bro, you are killing me here. Arthur Dane is totally the father of the Duchess's baby. And you're totally not asking me about that. And I personally feel as
How do you
if
know
you're-
that?
What do you mean, how do I know that? You not believe me or something?
I wish
Are
to
we
know.
not equals in this?
I wish to know where that information came from. And you see him snap his fingers again.
Bro, does it even matter? We're under the zone of truth. I am speaking truthfully.
I wish to know.
I'm sorry, hold on. Yeah. Okay, fine. Yeah. When I cast Speak with Dead, he totally mentioned it. I was going to tell you, and then he kept on cutting me off. He literally said, Arthur is fucking my wife, verbatim. And when I asked to bless the baby, she kept on looking at Arthur and the big knight dude. But he honestly, fucking, he is creepy as all hell. Unless you know him, in which case, I'm sure he's a nice dude. I'm casting judgments where, I'm judging the book by its cover. I'm scared of his contents, if you know what I mean.
You see Shieldfast reach his hand up and massage his temple for a moment. Very well, I only have a few more questions and then we can end this.
Wait, hold on. Before we end it, are you going to do anything about the whole Arthur Dane situation? Because he currently has my friend fucking kidnapped and held hostage at the moment. They're going, and I very much do the whole inverted commas with my index finger and middle finger fucking thing. Fucking willingly. He's totally got dirt on them.
He has your friend kidnapped. What do you mean by that?
My best friend kidnapped, in fact.
Explain.
Well, me and Em go way back. And
Not
we are, like,
about your
super good
friend.
friends,
Not about
we...
the friend, about Arthur kidnapping them.
Oh, yeah. So Arthur apparently knows some guy, albino or some shit like that. I couldn't even tell you. I don't know. He had some weird bird. And me and Terry, we popped him. And now Arthur's like, oh, let me experiment on you. Like, what the fuck, bro? Like, Jesus. Just the thought of it makes my skin crawl. And by the way, that's why I was so chill in that carriage ride. I would have been super stoked. I would have been so much more helpful had it not been the fact that this known creepo with the one eye is out there.
You see him snap his fingers again. The Inquisitor nods. Then he turns to you. We will look into it when we have time. First, I will ask you a few more questions, basic questions, do not worry. And he does go on to ask you simple questions like who did you see at the party, and can you give basic descriptions?
Everyone.
Yes,
saw
I know you. I know you did. I know you did.
I detailed them all in Callahan's way of like, yeah, there was some guy. He
No,
had like
but there's
mustard
no.
stain.
But here's the thing: you're gonna have to roll me an intelligence because you might have seen it everything, but do you remember it?
Shit.
Aha.
Hey! Oh
Hey.
yeah,
All right.
baby.
So throughout about 20 to 30 minutes, you give a good, actually about an hour. You give a good description of everyone you saw, of everything you saw and heard, all the information in your own Callahan way. At some point, Shieldfast gives a nod to the others, and you see that the Inquisitors begin to close their books and pick up the foldable stands. And then he turns to you. Thank you for your cooperation. You may take your leave now. A sword will escort you out. Have a good night.
All right, bro. Let me just tell you, you seemed okay, but people skills go a very long way. I'm telling you, you are not down to earth at all. Work on it. Really, just kind of reflect on this experience. Use a little bit of that wisdom, a little less zone of truth out the door too, man. That was like I get it, but Jesus,
He just walks out.
peace, bro. I'll bounce.
Okay. You get up and you do see a sword of Mal who signals for you to politely signals for you to follow him, and he escorts you to the outside of the court.
I'll wait for Kyoho just outside.
All right.
And I let her over and over. Like, yeah, I'm just gonna wait for my friend. Whatever. Yeah.
He just gives you a nod. Now, Kyoho, we wind back time a little bit. You are left in a room. You are left in a room with a single chair, but not alone. A moment after you are made to wait, a young acolyte appears and begins using healing spells and medical treatment to patch you up somewhat. You do heal for 20 HP. As
I will thank him.
this
I will thank her.
female acolyte, she seems to be in her early 20s, gives you a nod, doesn't say anything, and merely takes her leave.
All right.
You
I'll
wait.
continue sitting and waiting.
Yeah, and you do wait for about an hour. When the door opens again, you see two Inquisitors that walk inside with foldable stands. One begins to draw you, while the other seems to be taking notes. Finally, a shield walks in. He has no helmet. And it reveals his human face, that he is a human approximately in his 40s, clean-shaven face, short white hair, and deep green eyes. His jaw is the squarest jaw you've ever seen on a human. Almost gives Demir a run for his money. Now, he straightens his back, folds his hands behind his back, and looks directly at you. Evening. I am Shield Donnelly. I trust the healing was helpful.
It was, thank you.
He nods to you, and then you see him cast a spell. It fills the room with light for a moment, and then fades. Roll me a wisdom saving throw.
Oh boy.
All right. Once the spell takes hold, you manage to break free, and he narrows his eyes. quite the spirit you have. Well, either way, I would advise you not to lie.
I am not intending to.
Good, good. Now, you chased after the assassin, correct?
Correct.
I require a full description of the assassin and the events after the murder took place.
Certainly. After the murder took place, I, as well as some of my compatriots and someone else who was there, that I have known as Valerie Redblade, chased after him. He was quite fast and adequately disguised with a Oni mask. He would have gotten away if it were not for the fact that he stopped upon noticing me, given the actions that he took and the fact that he stopped upon seeing me. I suspect that he may be my brother who has fled from Onigashima.
You see him straighten his back even more and tense his shoulders as he looks at you, surprised. And
This is the information I did not want to give you for certain while still in the room, because I have been informed that letting people know about that could be costly to myself, but I want you to know I have no familiar connection to him. He killed my father. I intend to kill him. I would have there, but I were not strong enough.
Understood. Note that down. And he points to the Inquisitor, who actually, for a moment, he wasn't writing. He was just staring at you, kind of surprised. And immediately the Inquisitor, oh, yes, of course. And he continues to write it. Yes, at least I understand why you haven't shared that information in a public place. Thank you for being honest.
I let my suspicions about it be known near some members of my own party as well as Valerie, and Valerie indicated that letting people know would be a bad idea. I was questioned while near other members of the party that I believe are part of the Red Council, and I assumed that letting the information out to other people might not be the best of intentions.
Yes, of course. And you see him pause for a moment. Roll me a persuasion. All right. He nods. Very well. I admit it is odd that there are more Oni around than usual.
I did
in
not even know
Westgate.
he was on this part of the continent or this continent at all until I encountered him on the rooftops during the chase.
Were you not? I believe you. Do you know where your brother is, might be, or where he might go next? What are his next steps?
I do not know. I have no idea what will have caused him to take part in this assassination outside of either monetary or, in addition to that, wanting to show off his skills. But I was knocked unconscious during the battle and did not find out any information about how he fled.
Do you have any information about his abilities that you might want to share?
He is a quite skilled martial artist and assassin. I have a feeling he was holding back when fighting against me and my compatriots and Valerie, as he did not use any weapons to fight us, merely fought unarmed.
So you're saying he's a weapon user?
As am I.
Indeed. Good. Now, if we capture your brother alive, he will be flayed and then left for the crows. You understand that?
Yes.
What are your feelings on this?
He deserves worse.
Very well. Good. And he looks at the Inquisitor. You are giving us good information, Kyoho.
I have a suspicion that no matter what, I'd be giving you this information. And I'd rather not have to force you to do anything displeasant to me to obtain it.
Well, I thank you for not forcing my hand. I will ask you a few more questions about the party. Any information you can provide us will be welcomed. And he begins asking routine questions
Yes.
well, they're basically the same questions that were asked of. Yes, it does include your brother's name. Thank you, Callahan. I almost forgot.
Yeah.
But which is,
Saito Queen Maru.
thank you. Try to spell that correctly, Inquisitor. Yes, sir. But he asks you the same questions. The thing is, since you are Kyoho and you go straight to the point, it doesn't take an hour to answer all of these questions.
Yes.
So, after about 30 to 45 minutes, he gives you another nod. The Inquisitors fold up their stands and make their leave.
There would be some information that Kyoho would give when talking about the party and such.
Mm-hmm.
Most specifically, the woman that Yoru Silver brought in to investigate things for him tried to get Kyoho to leave after they'd asked her to stay for the further questioning, and mentioned knowing about her brother, which is information that Kyoho did not give to her.
Huh. And you're saying Yoru Silver was the one who brought her in?
Player comment. That is what I believe is correct, if I remember correctly,
Yes,
right?
yes.
Yes.
Thank you very much for that information.
I tried to ask her when she was asking us questions if we could wait for the other people that were coming to investigate so that answers could be answered in a group. But she seemed quite insistent on asking us information, but I did not tell her about my brother. But she knew about it anyway and was wanting me to not tell you about it, from what it sounded like.
Do you know any reason why she would have known about such information?
The only real way that her or Yoru Silver would know about my brother would be most likely if they had contact with him before this whole happened. Which is why I wanted to make sure to tell you about it so you can investigate it.
Thank you. We will be asking Yoru Silver many questions then. Miss Kyoho, I thank you on behalf of the court for all the information you have provided us. You may go. A sword will escort you out and give you your weapon back.
Thank you.
He turns around and leaves, putting on his helmet. A moment later, a sword signals for you to follow, and as you reach the entrance, your katana is returned to you. And
the magic katana, not them switching it out for a mundane one, right?
A katana is given to you, and it looks like your katana. It has the same looking handle, same looking scabbard and blade. And as you come down the stairs, you do see the sun begin to rise in the distance, like breaking slightly over some of the buildings. And you also see Callahan, who is waiting downstairs.
All right.
Callahan, you see Kyoho
Over to him.
approach unmolested.
Sorry, I muted myself. Yeah, I hope she come down unmolested.
Yes.
Callan will just be standing there with like maybe with a cigarette or whatever. Kind of like gives her like a big wave of like, hey, how'd it go? Did they fist fight you?
No.
Ah, right. Well, that's I mean, for the best. right? I mean, you
Yes.
definitely could have whooped their asses. And I would have had no issues with that. What do you think of the whole courthouse and mall thing?
I understand its purpose, but I still do not care for being brought to this place.
Yeah, you probably tell why I never really joined one. They're a different breed. At least you got your sword back, huh?
Kohel will attempt to change the sword to a smaller size.
And you now
Make sure
have a
it's the
short
same-
sword.
Okay, she'll turn it back to the long sword size.
Okay, now you have a
Yes.
long sword.
Callahan's probably going to think that's meant to be like some sort of code.
Callahan can think whatever Callahan wants.
Someone's happy to see him.
Aha!
So, gonna go back to the Crooked Soldier or whatever the hell and see how the other guys are doing? I've got some news for you. Remember Arthur Dane?
How could I forget him?
Totally banging the Duchess.
Kohel's just
And-
going to sigh and facepalm.
So Callahan just really over eagerly just just goes over the whole shenanigans that he went through to Kyo, because I don't think he got a chance to talk to anyone back at the ball after they came back.
Not
No,
Kyoho.
because the player had to run off due to a storm.
Hey. So just let's say he goes back and he just kind of like goes over like the whole thing. He's
All
like,
right.
whoa, and then he's like, oh no, I'm Arthur Dane. Oh, look at me. I only got the one eye. And every time he does, he just holds a hand over one of his eyes.
All right.
But it's a different eye every time.
All right. So both of you start heading towards the God, what head wounded soldier, crooked soldier, or wounded soldier.
I thought it was
Wounded soldier.
Wounded soldier. Yes. I thought it was wounded soldier. Okay, so both of you start heading back towards the wounded soldier, and we will.
Crooked soldier is the cousin.
Ah, yes, of course. Held by the another member of the family. So we are going to rewind time yet again, although this time further. Exactly. Back to Demir and Terry. Hi.
Oh, hello there, DM. How are you doing?
Hello. All right.
Greetings.
Greetings indeed. So, Demir and Terry, you leave the palace alone, not with your companions, not with any other guests. You leave the palace alone, and you head through downtown. Well, you're making your way downtown, walking fast. You see a few faces pass, but you're homebound, so you're feeling safe. Your group had been collected. Had been told to collect your things from David's shop in the morning, because a party was supposed to end late, and David was not going to be staying up just to give you your shit back, as much as he likes you. Thus, you make your way out of Hightown to find a place to sleep, possibly the wounded soldier. As you walk, and I'm going to put you on the map.
Shit.
Why do you immediately assume it's a bad thing?
Because you promised me that you were going to stab Demir in the streets.
Put you on the map, otherwise known as the battle map.
It might not be a battle map. What are you
I
talking
take out my dagger and I stab the mirror.
we all know that Massive really just wanted an excuse to use his new dynamic lighting.
Yes.
It's pretty cool.
Yes.
It is pretty cool, I'm not gonna lie.
Yes.
It just seems that we're gonna get robbed.
Possibly. So, Just just a little explanation on the dynamic lighting. This area is where you see it clearly is light, and since both of you have dark vision, um, since both of you have dark. Oh yes, Professor said. I think the first time I said it was crooked soldier by mistake, but it is wounded soldier. I corrected it in later sessions. So this area where you see the darker area is basically dark vision. So it's basically in black and white. Got it? Just so you
Okay,
understand.
so if there was like a token, like from a Roll20 standpoint, if there was a token there in the shadowed area, would we actually see it as a player?
Yes, because you both have dark vision.
Okay.
The areas that are completely pitch black are the ones that are being blocked from sight, essentially. But this is because both of you have dark vision. Those without dark vision, that darker area, they would only see darkness, like pitch black. It's just to differentiate dark vision from normal vision. All right. All right. This is just a little bit of an explanation, but we will continue. So, as you head through the mostly empty streets, especially at this time of night, you barely see anyone. You then see a shadow in the distance, only a few feet away, coming out of an alleyway. This humanoid shape comes into view in the darkness and seems to be heading in your direction. You see it very clearly with your dark vision. And the closer it gets, the more it becomes obvious that this individual is actually the investigator, Belladonna, that Yoru Silver brought in. You see how she remains in the shadows despite your dark vision. She remains in the darkened area as she looks at both of you, gives you each a nod and a smile. Good evening, Master Terry, Abjure Volshnik. I do not know if you remember me, but I was called in to investigate the Duke's murder on behalf of my employers. Please, do call me Belladonna.
All right. This is quite awkward and suspicious that you're chasing us in this dark alley.
Chase? No. I merely wish to converse with you. I believe this area, empty as it is, would make for a great place for conversation. And she looks between you two. She continues to smile, although it's easy to recognize this is a very professional smile.
Can I roll insight to see if she has any ill intent?
Sure, you roll me an insight.
The mirror is just like his eyes are like narrowed and he's just like kind of staring a bit.
Mm-hmm.
It's not like anyone who has anything to do with your Silver.
Okay. Terry, she seems to be keeping her distance somewhat, and she seems to be keeping to the shadows, but you don't see any signs of aggression, at least.
Okay.
Well, you will excuse me if I do not tell you exactly how I've done it, but I am aware of your other Oni companion's connection with the killer. I attempted to warn her to leave before the Mal's zealots before the Mal zealots caught wind of it, but alas, she refused my aid. I do quite fear for her right now.
Is that so?
Indeed. The gods know what she might be going through. Those zealots are persistent and persuasive in their own way. Once they catch wind of her connection, well, they might ask her more questions in a very brutal way. I have seen it before. But right now there is nothing that can be done about it. And, well, regardless of all of that, I come to speak with you two. With, well, about a very sensitive topic. We are, my employers and I, are aware that you are not on the best of terms with Arch-Abjurer Arthur Dane. Quite the difficult and tricky enemy you have, especially when he holds such contempt and hatred for one's, and she looks towards the mere wizarding master. You see her begin
He's
to...
not saying anything. He's just still eyes narrowed.
Uh-huh. You see her, she begins to pace around in the shadows, clearly aware that you see her, but she is merely just walking around. However, you don't hear a sound as she walks, almost like she's floating with each step. Arthur is the type to hold a grudge, as you probably know, and he will do anything to see it through in due time. Soon enough, you will find yourself in a very precarious position. Abjurer Volshnik continues to look directly at the mirror as she speaks. However, my employers are not only ready to offer you protection, but also aid you in eliminating the threat that is Arthur Dane once and for all. Would you be interested in such a thing?
I take it these are the same employers who wanted us to not pursue the capture of a terrorist.
Oh, we merely wish to conduct our own investigation and deal with it in a more appropriate manner. That was
Insight
all.
check. Guy, insight check that to see if she's full of shit.
All right, roll an insight check.
Oh boy, definitely one of my highest skills I got. Definitely not a -1.
Everyone knows that Demir is a master of reading social situations.
Yep.
Exactly. That's a 9.
She seems incredibly hard to read. She seems very convincing, at least. You can't really see any lies, but she is very hard to read. She has a very professional tone, a very professional smile. She doesn't show her cards right away. Don't really detect any lies, though.
What exactly are you proposing?
I trust that anything that is spoken here will remain between us. Can I have your word?
As in, I'm not going to go tell Arthur?
Indeed.
Oh, you have absolutely nothing to worry about there.
Master Terry?
Oh, it's not useful to me at all. I don't wish to befriend him, so don't worry about that.
She smiles. Good, good. Now, It is quite simple, really. Arthur Dane, Arch-Abjurer Arthur Dane, hired the assassin who killed the Duke. Now, whether that is the truth or not is irrelevant. We can, in fact, help make it a reality in the eyes of the law, brand him a criminal and an outlaw, and hopefully have him executed at the blade of one of those mall zealots. You need only cooperate with us, and it will be a reality, and he won't be a problem anymore.
I don't like. I'm not the one to outright break laws or go against the proper order of things. I'm definitely not of the chaotic variant, if I should put it that way.
I'm more concerned that acting against him would turn him into our enemy. As of now, we're just not allies.
Well, in her defense, Terry, I do happen to agree with her on the fact that I doubt that Arthur will let my master's slights against him go unchecked, and especially given his rather rambunctious conduct at the party, both before and after the assassination, I don't think that even if I'm not responsible for my master's actions, if he feels he can get some sort of comeuppance by taking it out on me, I don't doubt for a second that he will hesitate to do so.
Oh, he has a track record for making the son suffer for the father's sins, if you will. You can bank on it. Now, do not worry. If you do what we tell you to, simple tasks, you will be under our protection. Arthur will not be able to do anything against you, and in the meantime, if everything works out well, which it would, given your successful tasks, Arthur will be headless, possibly by the end of the week, maybe two. Not a problem any longer. What do you say?
If I may be so bold, it sounds very much like you know exactly who the person behind this assassination is, and that you are protecting them by trying to pin the blame on another individual, as heinous and despicable they are.
Well put, Demir.
That is far from the truth, actually. We are still investigating the situation. We just saw an opportunity to get rid of a thorn in everyone's side. Why, one might call it community service.
I want to roll insight on that.
Okay, roll an insight.
I would as well.
Roll an insight.
Or does my previous insight roll?
No, you can roll an insight on that one. All right.
I'm gonna use my hero point.
Use that hero point. Well
Damn
worth the use.
I am also going to use my hero point.
Use that hero point.
Even though it probably won't be any better.
That worked out well.
Yeah. Well.
All right. You actually don't detect any lies from her again. She maintains when you said that, she didn't flinch, she didn't change her expression, she just continued the same she was, and her tone seemed honest.
one of our companions is, well, no, and I assume in no small part thanks to you and your employers, is currently needing protection from Arthur in some way. To be completely honest, even if Arthur were to disappear, it would certainly not spell the end to our own troubles. As far as a party, even if I myself might come out the better.
Ah, yes, young Emerus, is it not? Well, I wouldn't worry about that. If Arthur is dealt with, they should be alright. We'll see to it. Besides, Arthur himself, from what we gathered, is the one providing Emerus with their mode of protection from Abjurer. No, sorry, Arch Transmuter. Long names. Well, Arch Transmuter Albion. So, in a way, I believe that it won't be an issue.
How do you know that?
We have our ways. I can't actually show you, or... Well, yes, I can actually show you all our cards. You'll have to trust us. And trust that the results of this deal will be nothing but fruitful for you.
I think we should converse with our allies and then give you an answer. It's not a decision we can make lightly.
Unfortunately, this is not an offer that will be made again. This is an offer that either is accepted now or never.
And how do you intend to ensure that, even if we were to accept it, that we would follow through?
You see her pause for a moment, and she smiles even wider and nods. She gives a slight bow, almost too dramatical. She says, "We have the means of incriminating an arch-abjurer, well respected. Who knows who else we might be able to incriminate in the meantime? Or worse. Now, this is not a threat, this is a warning. We came to you in good faith, offered you a deal. We expect the same courtesy in return."
What do you think, Lemire? All in all, it's actually a pretty good deal.
I will not do anything illegal. I will not subject any of my companions to do anything illegal.
Yep.
If the assistance that you require from us won't force upon such difficulties, then I acquiesce to agree to your requests.
Well, a few illegalities are required if you are, she looks around, incriminating someone who might or might not be guilty. But trust me, you will not be harming anyone else with this. Only Arthur Dane.
And how are we to even know that we would be able to succeed in incriminating a extremely powerful wizard beyond any of our skills?
Arthur Dane overestimates himself. Arthur Dane is intelligent, conniving, but he thinks too highly of himself. He will not see it coming, not with what we are planning. As long as you do things properly.
And why not just simply do things yourself? I'm sorry. I like knowledge. I like knowing things.
I'll tell you, actually. This first task requires someone who has access to Arthur Dane's home. And one of your friends has access to Arthur Dane's home.
Clearly, she must mean Kyoho.
I do believe that she would as well.
That was out of character.
I do believe that Kyoho would also have access if she were to present herself.
I refuse.
You're being interrogated.
Okay.
Do you accept or not?
Out of character. Hold on 1 second. I agree.
Wonderful. Splendid. And she begins to walk closer. Slowly, still with that same grace. And you see her begin to shuffle within her cloak. We will need to make sure the evidence against him are solid. We will be working on it. But for us to start, we require you to do something first.
Okay, I'm back. Oh, sorry.
Demir just accepted.
Okay, that's okay. I would have accepted it
Okay.
as well.
We will need to make sure the evidence against him is solid. We will be working on it, but for us to start, we require you to do something first. We know that Amaris will be at least allowed inside. Some of you might as well, if you convince him, but either way, we require this to be placed inside his home. And she takes out a folded paper sealed in wax, and also a small vial with a black liquid that she seems to flip around in her fingers.
Do I recognize the liquid?
Roll an intelligence.
Just straight intelligence?
Yes. This it's a 13, right? Because that's a saving throw.
So I heard, but I couldn't respond.
Okay. So you recognize Terry. You wouldn't actually get the roll.
Oh,
Just
sorry, was I on mute just now?
Yes, you were
Or-
muted this whole time.
Okay, yeah, sorry. That it would be a 13 because
Yeah.
I accidentally hit save and minus proficiency.
It seems similar to the black blood that the Duke spat out, but not as viscous, more liquid.
So it's no. I can tell that it's not, or at least it doesn't seem to be the exact same.
It might be. You don't actually know the consistency of the actual poison.
Okay.
What the Duke spat out was blood mixed in with the poison, so it was more viscous. And,
Gotcha.
Yeah. But she hands them over. And actually brushes her hand against Demir as she hands it over. Leave these somewhere that would make sense for him to hide them in, but it is imperative that he does not find them himself. She steps back. We will be in contact with further instructions in due time, but this is the most important step. For the time being, do this for us. And have a pleasant evening, gentlemen. As she starts to move. into an alleyway where she vanishes into the darkness beyond even your dark side.
Attack of opportunity. Sorry.
Ha! Die, wench!
So we're really
Feel-
doing this, Demir.
I feel dirty, but before we were caught up on that, Callahan at least seemed to indicate that he knew more than he was letting on, especially in regards with Arthur. And to be completely honest, it's not even myself that I'm worried about, or my own well-being. It's Imrys. I don't believe that Arthur has whatever he might have in store for her is of anything that's good, and I don't even think he'll go back. I'm not even sure he won't just go back on his word, even once he's finished his business with. I just, it's just weird. I'm so angry at Emrys for getting in this mess with the you know what, and our subsequent cleanup efforts, and yet I still can't. I just can't leave her to.
Don't worry.
Trails off.
We'll get Arthur out of the picture, then we'll get Albion out of the picture. I think that is the only way Emrys will be truly safe. Because honestly, being under Arthur's wing is the same as being under Albion's wing. He's curious about his powers. I can understand that, but they might do things to him that he will never be able to heal.
My thoughts exactly, and while it seems based on our my discussions with some of the various partygoers that Arthur has taken a bit of a hit, and his influence, thanks to the Duke, was essentially in his pocket, so to speak. But I don't know. It's given knowing his abilities and the lengths he's willing to go to get what he wants, such as with Emrys, or when he tried to enchant and drug Hyoho to stay with him, and the time he visited. I don't know. It's just. I would like to hear what Callahan has to say from what his observations and his talkings, but it could very well be that Arthur really is behind it, or at the very least, he stands to benefit in ways that are not the best for society.
I don't really see how he would benefit. If the Duke was in his pocket, why would he have him killed?
Well, that's why I'm trying to struggle with myself. My possible thoughts are that, perhaps for whatever reason, that sort of grasp was slipping away, or perhaps he saw fit a new opportunity, perhaps a better opportunity. That's why I was asking all those questions about, who would become Duke next, and how would the next member of the Red Council be determined, because at the end of the day, even if the Duke was liked Arthur, it's perhaps if he was able to find someone more easy to manipulate, or even arrange for such a way that he himself could take such a position. I don't know. All I do know is that he is a truly despicable human being, and not only myself, Hyoho, Emrys, really anyone that slighted him. If I tend to believe her, that Belladonna, that he will definitely seek to come out on top, and I don't know. It's just this is all very heavy-hearted, but I feel like if we walked away from such an offer, if we didn't do this, I don't know, like I would just be abandoning my friends, and well, that you and everyone else, you're all I have, to be completely honest.
Terry says nothing. He just pats the mirror on the back and starts walking home.
Demir follows,
All right.
and then gets stabbed in the street.
Yeah, as you make your way to the wounded soldier, a random mugger just walks in, stabs you 15 times, takes your wallet, and leaves.
Now Demir becomes the wounded wizard.
No, but you make your way to the wounded soldier. And now we switch back in time again to the last.
Bites the dust.
There we go. Thank you. To the last member of the party who has been split. Yes, Professor said. Dane time. It is in fact. and yeah, Osho is very happy about this.
Oh yeah.
Oh, yeah.
Alone time with Arthur
We
Dane.
badly need an Arthur Dane emote. I cannot stress how much we need it.
I don't have room for more
I don't know. If
emotes.
Dane's gonna die within a week, then maybe it's
right.
too late.
Emrys, it is your turn.
Mm-hmm.
The trip to Arthur's abode is quite short, since he doesn't live far from the palace. The man was quiet the whole time, apparently focused on a book he seemed to conjure out of nowhere. It is a rather elaborately bound tome with golden inlays, and the cover seems to be made out of scales you've never seen before. Vibrant blue, but larger than any scale from an animal that you've seen so far. As the carriage arrives at his home, the driver opens the door, and you both exit. Arthur dismisses the man, and he takes the carriage away. He then turns towards you. Amorous. He closes the book.
Yes.
We shall get to work immediately. You can sleep tomorrow. Understood?
I see. Yeah. Yes. That. I will do my best.
Good. And it's weird. You were looking at him, but when you blinked, naturally just blinked, the moment you open your eyes, that fraction of a second, the book is gone. And he is now walking with just a cane in his hand, like before. You make your way.
Emrys kind of follows after, just kind of muttering like, "Well, the night is the natural domain of one such as I in the first place, so I'm sure this will be no issue."
Mm-hmm. Just to themselves, right?
Yeah, just themselves.
Just hyping themselves up. All right, so let me just put you on a map. There we go.
Arthur Dane's very dimly lit mansion.
Yes, very dimly lit mansion. Well, there was nobody else here, and when he walks in, there is actually just a torch that lights up, and you both walk in, and the front door opens. The lights go up. Well, the torch lights up, and once you get inside, the doors slam shut, and you hear them lock behind him. Arthur begins to take off his coat as he continues to speak. Right, let's head to my labora. And he pauses. Stops in his tracks. And you see him looking around with his one good eye.
Is something the matter?
Immediately, he puts a finger to your lips. Shh. He shushes you. Then you see him mutter a few words while twisting his finger. Words, almost transparent, appear around you. And then, Emerus, you look down and you see your hands are gone. Your whole body not visible, at least to the naked eye. And at this moment, you hear footsteps. Let me just change the music to the one I wanted. There we go. This moment you hear footsteps. Coming down the stairs. Is the delay that intense? Oh no, oh no, oh no. Okay. Sorry. You hear the footsteps coming down the stairs. Each step comes with Emerus, an overly familiar sound of a staff hitting the step. Arthur.
Freezes.
Arthur looks up. And you hear him say, "To what do I owe the intrusion, Albion?" You see coming into the sight, into the light, Albion. The very familiar figure of Albion. And this time, not his familiar, but the man himself. You see this elderly looking man. Although elderly, he still has a very strong, tall body. His head is white. His hair is white and balding, almost completely, but his beard, well kept, long, and almost past it, and already past his collarbone. You can see the familiar blue medallion that he always wears, giving off a faint glow underneath the beard. And in his hand, the very familiar long staff of a coiled winged cobra with blue jewels for eyes. For a moment, Albion says nothing, simply glaring down at Arthur. Arthur smiles, as he always does. "It was rather rude of you to make yourself comfortable in my home without my permission. But I admit, for you to bypass my security, it was..." And Albion interrupts him. "An annoyance." "I see. You broke through the first layer. And have been standing there the whole time, then? Smart. It would be a shame to lose a great mind such as yourself over simple curiosity." At this moment, Emerus, you see Arthur. He has his hands behind his back. Well, one hand behind his back, while the other hand holds the cane. And you see him signal with his hand. for you to move.
Wait, Albion is.
Arthur, sorry.
Oh, Arthur.
Yes.
Which way is he singing to move?
You see him signal towards your left, and you actually do see there is a door. All the doors are closed here, except for one.
Okay, Emrys is going to very slowly and very quietly begin to move left.
Okay, roll me a stealth with advantage because you're invisible.
Ooh, invisible. Where's my stealth?
Wow.
0 point.
I'd like to use a hero point.
I believe that is a good moment for a hero point, yes. Hopefully.
So let's just
Well, this time you don't have advantage.
yeah. Oh, there we go. Good use of a hero point.
That-
You guys need to learn from my example.
Wow,
Guys.
All right, you can make yourself. You can move yourself towards the left and down the hall.
Wanna this way or
Yes, that. Continue. You do see light coming from.
is it that crack?
Yes, that is a door.
Ah,
All right. You can move yourself slightly. You can actually. I'll move you for. Move for you, so you can. Do you want to stay in and watch what happens, or do you want to just move into the room and listen, or you just move as far away as you can? What do you do once you get there?
I think probably just like get a decent bit inside the room and listen.
Okay. So you continue to move as their conversation continues. While you're still moving, you do hear, after Arthur said that about the it would be a shame to lose Albion, if you were curious. Albion growls. Don't confuse me for Volchnik. I have no interest in your research. Where is it, Arthur? Whatever do you mean? You know full well what I mean. Where is that blasted apprentice? I traced it back to this god-awful city days ago. Ah, yes. Unfortunately, I've been busy recently. What with the dragon attack you might have heard about. Now, the Duke's murder. I have a lot on my plate, old friend. My emotions are in turmoil right now. That was not the agreement, you brat! You were supposed to return it to me when I arrived. What is it? Was the deal not sweet enough for you? Oh my word, no. It was sweet as honey. Maybe even too sweet. Why would you promise me something of that level? Or a mere apprentice, anyway? I saw no true potential last time I saw them. That is none of your business, Arthur. You will bring it to me. In that moment, Emrys, the windows in that room shudder. You see the fire in that fireplace flicker as Dane's whole tone and disposition changes. You break into my home. Make demands of me? You forget who you are speaking to, you walking sack of dust and spite. I am not your apprentice anymore, and I am definitely not your servant or lackey. You impudent brat. From where you are, you then start seeing lights surrounding Albion. Well, where you think Albion is, and where you see Arthur standing. Albion is clearly casting a spell. Magic floating around him, but then you see Arthur flicks his hand, and Albion's letters shatter like glass, fading away. I have had an awful evening, Albion. You do not want to test my patience, because I am damn well nearly out of it as it is. So get out of my house. And if you wish to continue this conversation, then return this next morning. Preferably with a gift as an apology for tonight's rudeness. There is another moment. Magical words still floating around Arthur. They seem to glare at each other. But in the end, Albion grunts and begins to walk past Arthur towards the door.
Emrys is like basically holding their breath. Just
The less
probably maybe also like I said that Emrys kind of moved it further into the room, but they're probably like on the edge now, maybe peeking in a little bit.
The last thing you hear of Albion is before he slams the door shut. You hear him say, "You've always been cocky brat. You'll regret this, cripple."
Ooh.
After the doors slam shut, you actually see Arthur exhale in a deep sigh and rub his face with his hand.
Emery's kind of probably waits like maybe 10-20 seconds before kind of stepping back out. And then just kind of like speaks up to I'm assuming Arthur probably like he's just kind of standing there.
Yeah, he's just rubbing his face. Rubbing his good eye with his free hand.
If you don't mind me saying, that was very impressive. I haven't seen someone stand up to Albion like that. Well, ever.
I swear, even after staring down a dragon, that old fool still gives me chills. However, I could not allow him to insult me in my own home. You understand that?
Of course, you are quite justified in your behavior.
Really, I've rarely seen him this fired up over anything. And he looks at you intently.
Emery's kind of narrows their eyes, just likewise. It's unusual behavior.
Very, very unusual. And you see him look you up and down. Now, pats you on the shoulder. I really want to know what makes you so fucking important to him. Come, let us continue. I have wards in place that will keep any divination from finding you here. Afterwards, well, I'll give you something that will let you walk around without being found for the time being. Although I would keep my head down, Albion seems to be very intent on sticking around for the moment. Oh, I hope he assumes you've left town.
Yes.
You start moving up the stairs, and I'm going to take you away from the map because he takes you to a room that is not on this map.
Arthur Dane versus Albion battle map. What epic encounter.
Well, things could have gone very differently depending on your stealth roll, so I had to be ready.
Good thing I know how to use my rerolls.
Yes.
Unlike some people, so
Wow, throwing shade. All right. So you head up, and as you move around the house, you actually see several lights appear on the walls, writing on the walls. These wards seem to fade as he walks and then appear behind you, seemingly reacting to Arthur himself. He looks down at you and smiles. Breaking into the house isn't really that difficult, at least the hallway. At least not for someone like Albion, but I would like to see him try to break into this area. I have a reputation to uphold.
Emery just nods.
Yes. You enter a room that at first seems like a study. It has several shelves lining the walls, several books, and a table in the middle. Bare table, nothing on it. To the side, you see another table full
Bear
of.
table. Wouldn't that have fur on it? You know, bears have fur.
I will
Sorry.
take away all your hero points for the rest of the campaign.
Please.
Yes, keep that up. To the side, you see another table full of chemical components, and another table under a window that seems to have some loose pieces of paper and a quill and an inkwell. He turns to you and smiles. Right. Be kind and get on that table for me, please.
This table,
The big one.
is it just like a... No, this is me speaking.
Ah,
This is... So is this just like a... Is this the bear table?
yes.
And it's just like that... So there's no like straps or anything on it? Just want to check that.
Roll a perception.
Okay. Oh no. Oh,
All right.
not bad.
You see that it does not have straps on it, no. But you do see there are several claw markings around the halfway point, old. And you also see there are several thin openings along the table. You can't really see inside the thin openings. They are very, 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 very thin and very dark.
Thin openings are thin.
Emery kind of looks at the table suspiciously. Doesn't immediately move to get on it. Just kind of looks at Arthur.
What are you waiting for?
Well, you are involving me in these tests for reasons that I fully understand, but would I be able to know the nature of these before I partake?
Well, I'm going to run several tests on you, and I need you to remain still. That's all.
And these tests will cause me to
Emerith,
not- Yes. Yes.
lay down on the table now.
Emery's kind of gets on the table and lays down gingerly.
Good, good. And you see him snap his fingers, and thin straps of energy shoot from the slots and wrap around your limbs, your torso, and your neck. Like I've said, I need you to be still.
Emery doesn't say anything.
You see him walk to the shelf, and you see him flip his finger, and several books begin to float out and open around him as he begins to read, flip through them, and stop in certain points. And you see him begin to write with his finger in the air above you, leaving traces of this energy as sigils begin to appear. And for the next several hours, you will be under investigation. Now, we're going to
Do I need
switch.
to roll an investigation check?
Oh no, he's doing the rolling anyway. We are switching back from Amaris to everyone else.
Yo.
Yo. As you all return.
Just posted memes in the Discord server.
Yes, I know. As you all, I'm sorry, Osho, you're gonna be out of it for a little bit.
All right.
The nature of what's going on.
Plenty of time to work on a new character idea.
Possibly. So, we return to the Wounded Soldier as Terry and Demir are reaching. Actually, you reach the Wounded Soldier, and the sun is beginning to rise. And as you are having something to eat, you actually see Callahan and Kyoho enter the Wounded Soldier. And Callahan and Kyoho, you see Terry and Demir sitting on a table.
I'll go over and sit down next to them.
All right.
Sorry, what when is this? Like, what time of day?
It is.
Right
It is.
after-
It is. You know, it would be about 5 to 6 a.m.
Okay, so this is after we have all gotten back.
Yeah. So basically, you got back, and the inn was basically opening. So you're getting something to eat before you go to bed. But Callahan and Kyoho arrive at that moment.
Okay, yeah, okay, sorry. Oh, I see you've made it out in one piece.
Shut the fuck up.
But
Indeed, we have.
So you're not under arrest? Anything like that?
They just had questions for me.
and did you share?
Yes.
Yeah.
Quite so.
I had a feeling that if I did not tell them what they wanted to know, they would find out no matter what methods they had to use.
That
So I
is
decided to comply.
that is probably a wise assumption to make.
Besides, they do seem like a official law enforcement organization, so
Yeah. We're legit, like.
Oh, you're part of the law force as well, Callahan?
Well, well, You guys are eating? Are you? I'm kind of hungry myself. I might just and Callahan like.
What if I ask you a different question, Callahan? To be fair, we just want to all rest up first before we talk about what happened last night.
Yeah, a lot happened. That was that felt almost like a whole like month's worth of content. You know, like a whole like weekly 4-week back-to-back series. You know what I mean?
Oh, I know. It just feels like. Well, I'm not sure if it would be felt that long, but it definitely felt like, I don't know, anywhere from 12 to 15 hours worth, all packed into a single night.
Did you try to eat anything yesterday? I didn't. I'm starving.
I know, we didn't even get to eat. Oh, I didn't even get to eat at the party. Oh, Tamir just goes back to eating whatever was in front of him.
You have some leftover meats from the previous night, and some leftover potatoes.
He's just scarfing
Yummy.
it down.
We could have eaten. I don't know what rich people eat, but we could have eaten that. Lots of it too.
Yeah. How could I possibly use my perceptive skills to know who's around us? Like, is anyone listening in on us? Or
You actually nobody's around right now. It's still too early. The owner of the wounded soldier himself is grumpily trying to open one of the windows that seems to be stuck, but once he finishes that, he just goes back to continue cooking for actual breakfast, because these guys came in way too early, but so he's cooking actual breakfast for himself.
I think I could do with some actual breakfast.
I second that thought. And as I do, I would like to take out my mini book of Maul and my major book of Maul. And
The Mecha Book of Maul.
I've yet to acquire the Mecha. I've yet to acquire the Mecha book of Maul. I'd like to place both books on the table and look at everyone and be like, all right, all cards on the table. I'm after coming to a few major realizations. And truth be told, you guys are way smarter than I am.
Terry chokes.
Demir doesn't react, but inside he's kind of like, yeah.
Hey, a bot has shown up in chat to try and get you to
Yeah,
buy
I'm gonna ban
followers.
it. Unless you want to buy followers. Do you?
No.
Sweet, I want to borrow. What if I don't have a Twitch account? Otherwise, I definitely would. If I didn't stream on Twitch.
Yeah, I banned it. No worries.
Cool.
Thank you.
Thanks. I was looking for it and the users, but I didn't. Whatever.
Yeah.
So here's how I think it goes. At the party, and I said this as quietly as I can, but I can't whisper in Callahan's voice. I noticed or 100% found out by talking to that dead Duke's ghost. May he rest in peace, small, judge him fairly, and all that shit. Arthur Dane is totally banging his wife. And she is prego with his, schmego, if you know what I mean.
Demir glances over at Terry.
Like
he's kind of giving a
big glance at the same time.
There you go. Look, like that's it. That's the answer.
Okay, so what is they will slowly glance at each other and then look back at you and
Yeah.
Callahan
man.
definitely notices with his passive perception.
100%. He's just, but he takes it to totally different ways. Like, yeah, man, it is. Man, it is bad. It's bad. But that said, I think that Arthur Dane ordered the hit on the Duke so that his son, Arthur Dane Jr. the second, becomes the new Duke after he ices the Duchess, after she gives birth to the new Duke, and then all of a sudden he can like shadow admin the whole Red Council, whatever that is.
Can I? Do I know from my knowledge if it's like a patriarchy, and if the son would automatically become in charge, or if it does like go to the Duchess?
Roll a history, because this is
Yeah,
a very
I can't
different
remember
culture.
Yeah, I can't remember what I heard from when talking with everyone else.
What you heard was about the Red
Yeah.
Council, was about elections in the Red Council. Okay, what you know from this very weird human culture is that it is kind of similar to the Oni culture, where the oldest child does inherit the position, the noble position from the father upon his passing. So while the Duke's child would not necessarily be the part of the Red Council, they would still be the new Duke. So
And
the
that's not
owner.
dependent on gender. So if it's a daughter, then they would still be like the new Duchess, I'm guessing,
Yes.
like in charge.
Yes.
Okay. Well, I hate to cut you off, Callahan, because please go on afterwards. But I don't think that
I will.
step would be necessary. To my understanding of how things work, is that the child, whether it be male or female, would basically be the inheritor to the Duke's dukedom, if you will, not his surviving wife. And the Duke themselves are not automatically a member of the Red Council, although they do have control over the nobility, and there is the possibility of them joining the Red Council at some point in time, as the recently departed Duke had presumably
I'm
done
getting a
himself
phone
at
call.
some
I'll
point.
be right back.
Okay.
So, but the premise of if this is indeed Arthur's child having some great control over at least the nobility and perhaps one day the Red Council, and that is most definitely true, even if he does nothing else.
But wouldn't it? Just follow me on this. The only way the son or daughter would inherit the throne would be if they were the Duke's son or daughter. But given that they are not, they are Arthur's son or daughter. I'm just going to say child. They are Arthur's child. They would not inherit it.
Well,
Right.
I'm not entirely certain, unless the DM corrects me about how this works, but for starters, it could be possible that since they would at least be the child of the Duchess, that they're considered a worthy heir, and I also don't think that we should put away the possibility of, well, if there's necessarily any way to prove it, or if it's just assumed that they are the Duke's child. I mean, the Duke admitted himself that they had a child, and I'm assuming I don't know. It's quite possible that, in essence, everyone would simply assume it was a legitimate child, but Arthur would know the truth if he is indeed the father and is able to then exert his influence, whether it be just through his be himself and his charms, or if it's more magical means. I'm not exactly familiar with blood related magic. He gives like a little like awkward laugh while looking at Kyoho.
Mm.
Correct, but we do have a solution for that, don't we, Demir?
Yeah, I was well. What else do you know, Callahan?
I'm noticing certain things going on here. Demir, Terry, have you guys always been so close? Sharon.
Well, when while we were cleaning up, helping clean up the town, I know Terry at one point approached me, but before we were invited by Arthur to the party, and we talked some, and you know, I feel we're all very close at this point, given all of our experiences.
And you know, when one of us is taken away by an arrogant wizard, and the other two are dragged or float away with the Court of Mal, we tend to stick close.
Yeah, yes, quite so.
Yeah. All right. I'm smelling some character bonding moments happening right here.
Roll for insight, I dare you.
Yeah, you know what? I'm gonna roll. I want to roll for insight. I want to know how close the relationship with one another are.
I guess I'll roll for insight as well.
Sure.
This happened one
With
day.
the power
Demir was
of my
not my
monk
friend.
wisdom.
God damn, Kyoho! The
Wow.
fear the quiet ones. Well,
Like on a
Shit.
high after that social situation.
yeah.
Do we roll deception or something, or what?
Yo,
I
how
mean,
close
sure.
Are you guys now? Are you guys like getting into like best friend scenarios? Is it just like a brodom? Like, what's going on
Callahan
here?
jealous?
Callahan is jealous. That's exactly what he's trying to get out here.
Wow.
he and Demir were bonding, and now it looks like some
Is Callahan-
has come in, and
Is Callahan the type that he has to be the best friend, everyone's best friend in the group?
That's his
Remind
one
you
dream
that
in
he
life.
did earlier say that his best friend Emra's.
Yeah.
Yes. Yes.
Okay, so
That's-
yeah,
both.
what goes around
Besties.
comes around.
Okay, so both Kyoho and Callahan know something is up because the two of them seem to be very nervous and fidgety about something. They're holding back something.
What is it?
Well,
We are in love.
God damn it! I knew it. And I slam my hand on the table.
Demir looks over at Terry and says, "He did say all cards on the table, right?"
Yeah.
And so Demir literally puts a card on the table in the form of the sealed envelope and the vial, but he holds like his massive hands in a position that it's kind of like just giving a peek at the vial, at least. Like he's otherwise kind of like palming it in his hands so as not like reveal it.
Also, I want to point out something. I made a mistake before. The letter has a seal, but it is broken. So
Oh, it was handed to us broken?
yes, it was handed to you broken.
Oh.
But it does have the seal, and I forgot to mention this as well. I am so sorry. The seal has a Oni symbol for shadow.
So with that revelation, Terry, do you think we would have read? Fire, do you think Terry and Demir would have read the letter already, or?
I would have wanted to read that.
Okay.
Yeah, I probably would have wanted
Then you
as
know
well.
that the when you open the letter, you do know that the letter it doesn't have a. God damn, that's the dogs. Doesn't have a lot of information. It basically says the job was harder than it should have been. I want more payment. See me at the hideout.
Okay. All right. So.
Okay.
All right. So with that in mind, Demir just kind of he flashes the vial before kind of like putting it back in his pocket and just kind of like just gestures to the letter. This was given to us by and this is all still in the same hushed tone that like Callahan was speaking of, and they're trying to keep it quiet. This was given to us by a certain investigator that we all met at the party.
Oh shit, that pale chick with the black hair who kind of looked like me, but not Maul.
Belladonna, the
Yeah.
Yosuf's acquaintance.
Kyoho's just gonna
Who?
start sighing and rubbing the bridge of her nose.
I don't think I met her at all. You sure it wasn't the person I was talking about?
Why did she give you these?
She wants us to frame Arthur for the murder.
That tracks.
Would Callahan
She
know
tried
what
to get
the-
me to leave the Duke's mansion before the investigators could take me away to ask further questions. And she knew about the existence of my brother, who is probably the assassin.
Yes, they definitely, in general, seem to know a lot about us. And sorry, this is a side note. Demir probably would have like on the way back also given Terry a briefing, like just about like how they with your surfer before, how he seemed to know like a lot about them.
That's fair. That's fair. That's very
A
fair.
lot.
All right.
Not going into details, but just saying that like basically saying like, hey, at one point in time, they gave us like a similar offer, something like that, and they pretty much blackmailed us. And that's why, as Demir alluded to when talking with her, presumably Albion was able to locate Emrys.
Well, they did blackmail us as well. Although she did say she wasn't, but she was. She was
Can
blackmailing us.
Kyoho take a look at the letter?
Yes, she
Demir
can.
offers no resistance.
Well,
Yeah.
Does the handwriting look familiar?
to you, no.
Jumping
It's
off
actually
that,
and it's
was
actually
this-
written in common. It's not written in Oni.
Hmm.
with
Maybe
Callahan's
Arthur doesn't
background.
know Oni.
Do you know anything about the symbol, like the shadow symbol?
Being part of Team Shadow Ninja and all. You know.
Being the leader of
You-
Team Shadow
the only
Ninja.
the
The
only
leader.
the only thing you know is that it's the actual word for shadow, but in Oni. It's basically the kanji for shadow, but in Oni.
So, is it more the idea that it could be meaningless, the fact that it was written shadow, or would it be the idea that shadow was an important part of the seal?
It is what you think it is at this point.
Neat. Okay.
It's a seal that is on the letter.
Hmm.
I suppose to be frank, they seem to believe that Arthur might be behind this, although they do not know for quite certain. And
They
based
could
on
be
what
behind it
Callahan,
and are
based
trying
on
to
what
find a
Callahan,
scapegoat.
that was my initial suspicion, and I'm not exactly the greatest of social cues, but it did not necessarily seem that way. It more so seemed like they wanted to be alone in their investigation, and that Arthur was as much of a pain in their ass as he seems to be for everyone else. And basically
As we
approached
are-
us with,
As we are putting all cards on the table, I did inform the investigators at the Court of Maul about my connection to the alleged assassin, as we did not get a positive identification, as well as Belladonna's knowledge of this, despite me not telling anyone.
I understand. And
So
what information did you give the investigators, Callahan? Did you share with them your revelations about Arthur?
I did, and they really just, oh man, they just didn't care. Like, I'm trying to make sense of what happened in there, what was going on, and if I'm being totally honest with you guys, I'm
Okay, well, let's try and let's sort of recap things and recount things. All right, we know for a fact from our various talkings that Arthur seemed to have some sort of influence over the Duke. We know based on what Callahan is able to discern from said Duke, and his just, well, to be completely honest, he's a very perceptive individual. That it seems that Arthur is in an illicit affair with the Duke's wife, with the Duchess, and has sired a son with her. The Duke's assassination means that there is now a hole that's been opened up in the sort of relative power struggle among the city. That while someone will have to basically be put as a temporary charge for the Duke's responsibilities until the meantime, when presumably when the unborn child is born, and will then be able to eventually take on the responsibilities themselves. Said individual who eventually ends up as the new Duke or Duchess will not automatically be a member of the Red Council, but will wield considerable influence over the entire noble cast, as well as having the chance perhaps to join the Red Council and have influence there as well. And that, both given their potential blood relation and the fact that Arthur is a conniving and manipulative bastard, and the possible Duke or Duchess will be no more than a mere child, it definitely seems as if Arthur would stand to benefit from this hit job. And perhaps one more thing I should add that I just thought of is he did seem very upset about the fact that other people were going to come to investigate as opposed to the sheriff, which he himself called upon, and as to our prior arrangements and just dealings with, is probably not the most morally upright individual as well. And Arthur certainly doesn't hold back and is willing to exert force even on the various important people of the kingdom of Westreach, and things don't go his way. So, is there anything else that I seem to be missing in here, or other information? I mean, I don't mean to be saying that it is for sure Arthur who has done this, but there are a lot of signs that point to him.
there are, but I do not know how I feel about manipulating evidence such that he gets accused of a crime he might not have committed. And I'd much rather him be punished for the crimes that he has committed.
I agree. I admit I was unsure about whether to even say we would do this, to take these items to begin with. But keeping in mind, as Terry mentioned earlier, we were more or less blackmailed or strong-armed into accepting, but also knowing that Himmerus is currently under Arthur's grasp, and to be completely honest, I don't trust the man for a second to have any good intentions towards our dear friend. Whatever, I'm not sure about her relationship with Albion, but I can't imagine Arthur has anything better in store, and there's always the chance that Arthur just stabs her in the proverbial back, and then keeping in mind, and the investigator seemed to indicate this very heavily, that, as I'm sure will come no surprise, Arthur is one to bear grudges, and I do fear for all of our relative safeties, for the fact that Kyoho, he obviously has had his eyes on you, and Terry was brave enough to stand up against him, and Callahan is, well, you know.
Callahan.
And I feel that, I don't mean to say that I'm trying to act out of necessary, like, self-interest or anything of the sorts. I had my suspicions about Arthur and how he fit into this whole thing, and he is truly a despicable person. And as you mentioned, it could be very well that investigations into him would reveal some of the other atrocities dealings he's made. And I guess what I'm trying to say is I don't exactly feel good about any of this, but I also feel that perhaps it is the best course of action. I definitely don't think that anyone is better off with Arthur and his ways.
I agree. Regardless of if he's guilty or not. Sorry, Kyo, let me just add this. I truly believe that he just deserves some sort of punishment. Whether it's just or unjust, he deserves to be punished.
Yes. And whoever hired the assassin that killed the Duke deserves punishment as well.
As well, yes.
So I'd rather not let anyone who is attempting to use Arthur Dane as a scapegoat have their way to get out of culpability.
I understand the irony in this, but it does seem once again like we are in a situation where there's no real good option ahead of us.
There is, Damir, there is. We take down one douchebag at a time. First Arthur, then Albion, so that Emrys can truly be free, and then we go after Yoru Silver, Belladonna, and we make the world a better place.
Yes, that is the... Mr. Bring up, Albion would still be an issue for Emrys, and while Belladonna seemed to indicate that wouldn't presumably be an issue any longer, there's no real reason to believe her, and I've also been trying to brainstorm my own possible ways to protect Emrys even before this opportunity arose, and I think it could possibly work, although it could also very well screw us over and get us even into more trouble, but it would at least be an option to at least stave off Albion.
I'm getting this feeling that what is happening sort of around us with this situation is, if I think the right word is, some sort of conspiracy or conspiracies. And as of right now, we are outsiders to this that are trying to be manipulated into helping one or multiple different factions. So I believe that there's just a lack of information on our part that would help us make better decisions in this situation.
Oh, quite so. I'm very well aware that they are attempting to, that they are doing their best and have been for seemingly everyone we've met has, one way or another, trying to been manipulating us into serving their greater purpose. And I'm sorry, I just can't hold it.
Sorry.
But but yes, it's just. Tamir just lets out a sigh and just continues eating what he has in front of him.
By the way, food is brought over to Callahan and Kyoho.
Oh, can you bring me some more, please?
Sure.
Thanks.
Tamir does as well. Thank you very much. And Tamir leaves puts out some coin.
Terry pays nothing.
It's gonna be 2 silver from each of you per meal.
I'll pay the 4 silver since Terry is not paying because he's broke.
I have 1 silver. I've had 1 silver from ever since I joined you.
Tamir will still pay in full. The full 4.
All right.
And let Terry keep his 1 silver. Couldn't take that away from him.
Callahan pays for himself. He does nod and listen to everyone. I kind of like grunts in like agreement. But his thoughts are very clearly elsewhere.
Yes.
Callahan, I can't help but notice that you're less talkative than usual. Is everything all right? Did something happen with you and the church?
Me and the guys back at the big house. Well, they fucking suck. Have you ever been to court?
No, although not to be too presumptuous, I would have assumed that being a man of law that you would have got to know long well.
Yeah, I mean, no. Not really in any way. Sorry to burst your bubble on that, but
I see. I understand. It's relationships are between colleagues are difficult.
yeah, I mean, like I'm probably preaching the choir on this one, but and Callan gestured to Kyo, like, you met the swords, you met the shields. They're well, they're cut from a different cloth than I am, and even if you try and follow their lead, you're never good enough, and you're always just some fuck up in their eyes. You're never gonna fit in anywhere. So that's why I do what I do. I started to want it on my own. Shit. Let me tell you one thing. I'm glad that I did. Every time I brought up M and their situation, their scenario, they're in danger. The shield, like the protector of the people, of the law, of everything that the fucking Court of Mall stands for, it's just disregarded. And I shit you not, I sat there and I did everything in my power not to summon my fucking bat and break their fucking table in half and tell them that their justice just isn't good enough.
Mm-hmm.
Where does that leave me, Their justice is meant to be my justice. They're the representatives of the church, of the court itself, I'm nothing in their eyes. I'm the single lowest position within all the Court of Mall. And I'm telling them how we're supposed to be running things.
Well, Callahan, if there's anything that these past, I want to say just night, but just far beyond that. If there's anything that, since we've known each other, that I've come to learn or at least better understand, it's that there is individual worth, and that makes us all unique and important in our own right. And just because someone possesses some sort of authority or experience or whatnot, it doesn't make them, infallible. And to be completely honest, if I'm not too familiar with at least the inner workings of the Church of Maul, but I would say this about this or the Red Council or that Pathfinders Guild or whatever. It's town guards. Having more insight and people who are willing to point out the shortcomings, and rather than just going with the flow, or this would be definitely a benefit to society as a whole. I think it's too easy for people to simply be passerbys and bystanders rather than try and at least do something, even if it has untold consequences. Mare kind of trails off.
Thanks, man. I know that means a lot coming from you, and
I definitely understand the feeling of being an outsider such as that.
yeah.
Quite so.
I'm not feeling too good. I'm just gonna call it a night. That's right. Yoho, try and get some of this food in yourself. Demir, Terra, you guys helped whatever's left over. It's gonna be a weird one.
I understand.
Later, guys. And Callan just kind of slowly walks off and goes into the room that himself and Amaris were sharing, and just kind of stares at the ceiling for like another 30 minutes before going to sleep.
All right.
No prayers.
No prayers. The rest of you?
Kyoho's probably gonna finish up eating and go lay down herself. She had a
Same.
rough
All
time.
right. So I assume all of you go to sleep then.
Yes, and I am taking back the letter, and
I assume
yes.
I assume you wouldn't be leaving it right on top of the table. Yes. So
We accidentally incriminated the owner of the inn.
wow, that's master plan.
Where was the innkeeper during the Duke's assassination? Does anyone have any notes on that? Do I hear some stuff?
I would assume banging his wife, but who knows? It's her word.
His wife or someone
Banging
else's
the
wife.
Duchess. Oh my God, boys, our eyes have been closed all this time. Time to awaken that passive perception.
He's the real Duke, and the other one was an imposter that he overthrew.
All right. So you all go to sleep. You sleep for, the 8 hours.
This doesn't sleep.
Nope.
While Emrys suffers.
Well, Amaris is not having a fun experience.
What are we gonna do? Walk up to Arthur Dane's house, hurt and out of spells and key points, and go, "Hey, stop torturing Emrys."
Hey, stop, please.
We give you Kyoho. Just give us Emrys.
All right. So
I think it would accept the trade. I think it would.
Probably. Don't know. Maybe. Probably not. Well, anyway, you guys have your rest. Well, one of you does not have a rest. So I do want Emrys to roll me 2 Constitution saving throws, and 2 Wisdom saving throws.
All right, let's do this. 2 constitutions, so okay, and 2 wisdom. Okay.
Oof. Oof.
Ooh. Okay.
Wait.
Can I give Emrys a hero point for that 0?
I mean, I suppose.
Okay,
I
I'll
got you,
give
boo. Don't
Emrys.
worry. Don't worry.
I'll buy it.
Have my El Hero
Thanks.
Punto.
Because it wasn't my hero point.
Wait, but Emrys got 2. Emrys.
You got 2.
You got 2. Are you using it for the
Okay.
first or the second, or the
Oh
first or
my
the second
God.
wisdom
Doesn't really
saving throw?
matter.
It does.
Well, I'm using it for the 2, obviously.
So to replace.
my
Good job.
Oh my goodness!
Wow.
Oh,
I am so proud of you.
I'm sorry. I am going to screen cap those 4 wisdom saves and post them to Twitter.
Yo,
Go ahead.
Could I have my points back? Oh my god.
Nope. Them.
Just insulting.
This is not,
That's
this
how
is
it
not
is.
what I paid for. I would like to speak with the manager, please.
Yeah,
and
I
get
want
a
to see
full
this
refund.
manager. Yo, Arthur Dane, where you at, bro?
Here
Okay,
we go. There's the tweet.
Emerus, I want you to roll on a D100, please.
Okay, then. High is good.
91.
Might be good. Might depends on the table.
I see. Okay.
That's the number of times Arthur Dane kisses Emrys.
And now,
19.
No.
That's why he failed his wisdom.
and now, Emerus, you're gonna roll another D100, please.
Okay. Yeah,
Okay.
I'm averaging them out. Got a high one, got a low one. Spreading my bases.
Yeah, that's exactly what you
Okay.
want to do. You want to
Okay.
hit both ends of the spectrum where one's going to be good and one's going to be terrible.
Exactly.
Okay, Osho, I'm gonna private message you this.
Oh no!
Oh, okay.
Alright, if OCO doesn't have a backup character, is anyone willing to loan theirs to...
I have about
I have
a
Callahan's brother,
gazillion.
Schmallahan.
Oh, Schmallahan.
Yeah,
What,
just get ready to do a
Callahan
very
sings?
deep and gravelly voice for the next 18 sessions.
There we go. There we go. So.
Okay, I'm just gonna make.
All right. So, Emerus. A
Yes.
carriage stops in front of the wounded soldier. The door opens, and you step out, being helped by the carriage driver. Your clothes are disheveled. Actually, give me a second. There we go. That's the answer. Your clothes are a bit disheveled, and you have bandages around your neck, around your arms, around your left eye, and you have this dazed look on your face. The door closes and the carriage driver gets on the carriage and continues. What you remember is spending the last 10 or so, 10, 11 hours being experimented on by Arthur. First, it started with some typical identification magic. Then it got worse as he wanted to dig deeper. It all seems like a bit of a blur. And you also have something else. You look down and you see there is a necklace around your neck. It has Arthur's symbol on it. It is the six-pointed star with a word that you do not identify inside it. It's another in a language you don't know. Arthur told you that this will keep any divination magic from targeting you or identifying you or in any way for the next 3 days, as long as you have it. It only has juice for 3 days. It did tell you that once the investigation and all his research bears fruit, he will give you one that will permanently hide you and anyone within a certain range. For now, you get the temporary one. He told you that you may go now, and that he will collect you whenever he needs you for more research. That he will look at the notes for the time that he has gathered for the time being. You enter the Wounded Soldier, and you see Callahan, Gyoho, Demir, and Terry eating, at this point, dinner, having woken up recently. And all of you see Kyoho as they walk in.
You mean Emers?
You also see Kyoho because she's sitting right there.
Kyoho sees Kyoho.
Yes. But all of you see Amaris as they walk in that sorry state of theirs. And that's where we're going to end the session.
Of course.
Time to detect magic all over.
I think it's a good spot to end the session. I'm sorry, Osho, you didn't get to do a lot of RP.
That's all right. No, it was fun. It was fun watching everything.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Fun watching you RP with yourself.
Oh my god.
You did a really good Arthur and Albion was like, oh, that was so good.
Thank you.
It was a fun session.
That
It was super dope, man. I actually echoing what I was just saying. Just the two character voices really worked well with one another.
Oh, thank you. Thank you. Yeah, this was a bit of a different session because of everyone being split apart. But
we didn't party wipe, and we're back together again.
Yes, you are. You are all back together. That's
All right,
good.
Maybe not in
we gotta figure out how to
piece.
fix that.
And stuff happened and things, and I am going to find someone to raid. So you can talk amongst yourselves while I search for D&D raid or possibilities.
Well,
So,
I'm sure you guys are wondering what mysterious things are rolled and what have been secretly sent. Well, I'll actually tell you, because what I've been sent is secret shadow ninja. Top secret, of course. So I'm not going to tell you the details. That's all I'll let you know.
I was expecting a beep.
Yeah, just long beep.
Or for Osio to just inexplicably exit Discord.
Just go on, just mute yourself for about 5 minutes and then unmute, being like, "Oh shit, sorry, was I unmuted?" Whatever.
Too late.
I don't want to say it all again, so I guess I'll just
Oh
have
my
to tell
god.
you guys
Oh
later.
my god.
anyways,
All right, this group
Yeah, so-
seems fun. I'll
Oh, thank you.
Oh,
Oh, you meant other people.
Yes, other people, not you, never you. Uh, seem to be interesting, and as per usually, they don't have as many viewers as us, so it's always nice to share. But
Yeah.
I hope they're not closing, but they're not ending. But whatever.
Sunday night, I raided somebody who was playing the same game as me, and I loaded in to seeing their good night everybody, and the stream had already stopped.
Aww.
Oh.
Aww. Well, it happened. It happened to me as well. But well,
Yep.
everybody watching, thank you so much for watching. Thank you so much for being here. Thank you so much for.
Thank you so much for DMing.
Oh, thank you, and thank you to my players for.
Yeah, man. Thanks for the good game.
you did an amazing job this session.
Thank
I
you.
really
You
enjoyed
guys
it.
did fucking amazing job too.
Thank you.
Yeah.
Oh, thanks. You know, all that RP I did.
Like I said, I tried to not act too good at conversing with Kyoho while doing that.
And you sounded perfectly antisocial. It was very well done. So, I'm gonna raid, and we'll see more Talia Misfits next week, and possibly this week I might do a one shot. I don't know. We're still discussing that, but yeah. Bye, everyone.
Bye.
Later. See you all next week.
Bye-bye.